I have zero animation skills, but it only took me 12 minutes to create this entire animated explainer video using AI.
Nearly all of Earth's water rests in the ocean. Warmed by the sun, it begins a journey that never ends. The sun's heat turns liquid water into invisible vapor. It rises from seas, lakes, and rivers, drifting into the atmosphere. High above the ground, the air grows colder and vapor condenses into countless tiny droplets that slowly gather into soft, drifting clouds.
So today, I'm going to show you exactly how I did it, using a simple workflow that even a kid can follow. You'll learn exactly what tools to use, how to turn your video idea into a real animation, as well as the one trick that lets you save credits and still get the highest quality possible. Now, the most important part of this is deciding what the video is about and how it looks. And because I only have a vague idea about what I want to create, I'll actually open Claude to help me figure out these two things. And by the way, I've written down this prompt as well as all the next steps from this tutorial inside the workflow document. It's completely free and you can download it using the link in the description. So let's open a new chat and I'm going to simply tell it that I want to create an animated explainer with a well-known topic. Now let's send the first prompt to Claude and it basically gives me three options. One with everyday science, another one with how things work, like the internet and GPS, and lastly, nature and body. And because I want something that everybody already kind of knows, I'm going with the first one. Now this one also has a few options, so I'm going to ask it which one would make the clearest explainer using this prompt. And Claude immediately tells me that the water cycle is the best choice and why. I really like this topic. However, we still need to decide how our video will look, because at this point, if I leave it as it is, my video will probably come out as something ultra realistic, which is not what I want. So for the next prompt, I'll simply ask Claude to give me some art style options by pasting this prompt. And from the options it gave me, I think the hand-drawn one fits the idea I have in mind perfectly. So I'm going to go with that. However, now that I know exactly what I'm going to create and how it looks, I also need to make sure the video generator understands that too. And the easiest way to do that is by using an image reference instead of a prompt. What this will do is that every time I'm creating a new image or video, the AI will take the style from the reference image. But how do we actually create one? Well, in the same Claude chat, I'm going to simply ask for a reference image prompt just like this. And now I've got the prompt, but as you know, we cannot generate images inside Claude, which brings us to a bigger question. What AI should we use to generate this image? Well, there are quite a lot of options out there, and we can basically choose any one of them and we will get a decent result. But in order to save money, we need to make a smart move and think about the AI video generation part as well. That's exactly why today I'm going to be using OpenArt, which is the platform that gives me access to all the image and video generator models in one single place. So if you don't have an account yet, I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can sign up. Once we are inside, let's go to the image section and press on create image. The first thing I want to change here is the model, and I'll go with GPT image 2, which is one of the best when it comes to prompt adherence and overall quality. Next, I'll paste in the prompt I got from Claude, and for the settings, I'll set the aspect ratio to 16:9. For the resolution, I'm going up to 4K, and quality is going to be set on high. You can also adjust how many generations you want to create at once, but I'll leave it at only one for now. And let's generate. It has that 2D illustration style that feels like it was hand-drawn, but at the same time, it's not too childish, so I'm going to keep it like this. However, if you're not happy with the first generation, you can always retry until you get the result you like. And now that we have the reference image for our videos, we can move on to the next step, which is also the most important one. If this is not done correctly, the final result will look like a total mess. And I'm talking about the structure. So let me show you how to avoid that. Inside the same Claude chat as before, I'm going to use this prompt to get a first version of that. But as you can see here, I'm telling it strictly not to create a full description for each section, but instead to give me just a short narration line. So let's send it and see what Claude gives us back. Well, it followed our prompt strictly. As you can see, it created 6 different sections for our video, each one with its own short narration line. If you don't like what it gives you back, simply tell it and it will change it. But in this case, I think it's exactly what I was looking for. So I'm gonna write a new prompt to ask it for some action in each of the sections. And as you can see, it matched each of the environments with a logical action. For example, for precipitation, it said, we will have rain falling and craning down, which is perfect because now we also have the entire structure of our video and know exactly what to create in each of the sections. But as you probably know at this point, we have no video generated, and that's because we don't have any visuals besides that image reference we created in the beginning. So to change that, I'm going to do a very simple and intuitive thing. I'm simply going to ask Claude to give me a prompt for each of the 6 scenes. So here's the prompt I'll paste paste in. So let's send it, and here are all the video prompts it created for us. And as you can see, all of them have the exact same structure. First, we have a style reference part, which basically tells the video generator that we are going to upload an image reference and it needs to copy the style of it. And one other important thing that Claude added inside the prompt is this line here where it says to not open the video with it. Sometimes the video generators think the image reference you upload should be the starting frame of the video, which in this case, it is not. Next, we have the scene section. In this part of the prompt, it explains which one of these 6 stages of the water cycle it is in. Then we have the motion, which is all about the camera movement. Next, it's audio, and here, there's intentionally no narration. We're adding that ourselves later on, and that's what keeps the overall quality up. Otherwise, you run into the most common problem with this, where all 6 videos come back with a different narration voice. And lastly, Claude also created a negative section for our video prompt, which tells the AI what not to do. So now the only thing left to do is to bring these prompts into real videos. And because we chose OpenArt, all we have to do is go into the video section, choose the mode called text with reference, and change the video generator model to Gemini Omni Flash. This is the newest model from Google after VO3, and it significantly raised the bar when it comes to video generation. Next, when it says add visual references, press on upload media and select the reference image we created in the beginning. And before I actually paste in the prompt, I want to make sure the aspect ratio is set to 16:9, and for the duration, I'll go with 10 seconds for all of them, which is the maximum amount with this model. And now let's create all the videos one by one, starting with the ocean video and then the evaporation stage. Let's paste in the first prompt, and here's what we get back. It perfectly kept the same style as our image reference while also following the prompt we gave it. We have this nice looking ocean with the sun in the back, but what I think is really taking this to a whole other level is the background noise, where you can hear all the waves splashing just like in real life. Now let me do the same and replace this prompt with the next one and see what we get. This time, we have that small pond of water from which vapors of water come out and get into the sky. I think the camera movement did a really smooth job here, going from the ground up to the sky. Next, we have the condensation, so I'll paste the prompt for it. And this is how the video looks. In my opinion, this looks really cool, how we have those drops of water that get turned into clouds. I would say it seems a bit glitchy in the first 3 seconds, especially when multiple clouds merge into one. However, I think it makes sense, so I'll leave it like that. Now for the other parts of the video, I'll simply repeat the same process where I replace the prompt with the new one. So let me show you straight up the results. Here is the precipitation scene, which creates a really smooth transition between the rain falling from the clouds to the ground and gathering together in small pools of water. And I think what makes it look so smooth is the slow camera movement. Now here's the best generation so far. It basically shows how the rainfall we've seen previously infiltrates into the ground. However, it has a small problem after a few seconds. After that, we get a transition where new plants appear because of the new water in the soil, and then we get another transition where those same new plants disappear. But this can easily be fixed and cut in the editing part. And here's the 6th part of the video. Now it's not that obvious that it's all about the river getting back to the sea, which is why the next step is so important in making this video feel right. And I'm talking about adding a narration voiceover, which will explain exactly what is happening on the screen. But luckily for us, we've done most of the work here because Claude included the narration lines when it generated the sections for us. So all that's left to do is to upload those into a text-to-speech AI tool, and with OpenArt, we have access to the most powerful one, which is called 11v3. In order to access it, let's go to the audio section, and for the audio model, choose that one. And before we paste in the first narration line, you want to choose the voice, and here you can choose from dozens of presets from the 11 library. And what's cool is that you can sort them by accent, gender, age, and even use cases. So simply scroll through them, and to test them out, you can just press this play preview button. And once you're happy with the one you found, you simply select it. So this is the one I will go with. So let's take the first narration line and create the voice for it. Now let's listen to it.
Nearly all of Earth's water rests in the ocean. Warmed by the sun, it begins a journey that never ends.
What I really like about 11 Voices is that they have a natural feeling to them, like a real human is actually behind the screen. They also have the small pauses and imperfections that don't make them sound like those annoying robots. So now, let me do the same for all the other 5 scenes and download the results. But now, before we actually go into the editing tool and stitch all of these together, there's actually one small trick I want to show you, because this is what basically saves me a ton of credits every single time I'm creating an AI video. It's actually very intuitive, but most people don't even know about it. What they do instead is go on a video generator and select the highest resolution in order to get the best quality videos. But what this ends up with is spending a ton of credits, because I can tell you from my experience, there's never been a time where I made a video without at least 3 or 4 regenerations. And if you're going to create the first scenes in 4K, that's going to burn through your credits extremely fast. So the little known trick I use is to first generate my videos in 720p, which costs a fraction of the price compared to 4K, and then use the Topaz upscaling tool inside OpenArt to get the highest quality once I know my video is ready and there's nothing else to edit with it. Now, it has its own limitations, so be aware that it's capped at 20 seconds per pass. So if we stitch all the scenes together, it will pass that limit and it's going to be harder to edit. So what I'll do is upscale each of the 6 scenes individually from 720p to 4K, then move to the assembly part. Inside OpenArt, let's go to the video section and then to upscale video. For the model, I'm going with Topaz and I'll upload the first scene. For the resolution, I'm selecting 4K and leaving all the other settings the same. Just take a look at the difference. On the left side, we have the original scene, and on the right side, we have the upscaled one. As you can see, it didn't change a thing when it comes to the content, but the quality is significantly better on the right side. So I'll do the same thing for all the other sections, and once that's done, we can finally move to the last and easiest step of all, and that's the assembly part. So let's get into CapCut or any other editing tool you have and place all 6 upscaled videos in order. Next, drop under each one of them the corresponding voiceover and trim any parts that don't look good. Once that's done, let's export it to 4K and take a look at the final result.
Nearly all of Earth's water rests in the ocean. Warmed by the sun, it begins a journey that never ends. The sun's heat turns liquid water into invisible vapor. It rises from seas, lakes, and rivers, drifting into the atmosphere. High above the ground, the air grows colder and vapor condenses into countless tiny droplets that slowly gather into soft, drifting clouds. When droplets collide and grow heavy, gravity takes over. They fall back to Earth as rain, snow, or hail. On land, water races downhill as runoff, filling streams and rivers, while some soaks deep underground to rest as groundwater. Rivers carry it home to the sea, where the sun waits to lift it again. The water cycle simply continues forever.
This came out exceptionally well. All the scenes link together extremely smoothly, and the narrator's voice works as a cherry on top of it. But honestly, none of it would even be possible without OpenArt. So if you want to create an animated video for yourself, go sign up to OpenArt using the link in the description down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.